You tell yourself it will be one bite. Just one. A clean, civilized, emotionally mature bite of something sweet because you are a reasonable modern person with goals, plans, and maybe a fitness app that has already been disappointed in you twice this week. Then the sugar touches your tongue and suddenly the situation changes. The cookie is no longer a cookie. The chocolate is no longer chocolate. The soda is no longer a drink. Somewhere deep in your brain, an ancient system sits up and says, extremely professionally, yes, this is important, and that is strange because you are not starving. You are not wandering through a dry savanna hoping a tree has fruit before your body runs out of energy. You are standing in a kitchen or a gas station or the glowing snack aisle of a supermarket where sugar is stacked in colorful packages like humanity decided to build a temple to bad decisions. You know what sugar is. You know too much sugar is not great. You may even know the exact number of calories in the thing you are about to eat, which somehow does not stop your hand from continuing its heroic journey toward your mouth. So why does sugar still control your ancient brain? Why does something as small as sweetness feel so powerful, so comforting, so difficult to ignore? The answer is not that you are weak. It is not that your ancestors lacked discipline because they failed to invent meal prep containers. The answer is that for most of human history, sugar was not everywhere. Sugar was rare. Sugar was seasonal. Sugar was locked inside fruit, hidden in honey, guarded by bees, separated by distance, wrapped in fiber, and earned through effort. Your brain did not evolve in a candy aisle. It evolved in a world where sweetness meant energy, and energy meant survival. The problem is that the old reward system still works. The world changed. The craving did not. Here is the reframe. Craving sugar is not a modern moral failure. It's an ancient survival signal trapped in a world that learned how to mass produce it. Your brain is not looking at a donut and thinking about long-term metabolic health. Your brain is reading sweetness the way it was built to read it. Fast energy, safe food, useful calories. Get it now before something else does. For your ancestors, that reaction made sense. A sweet taste usually meant ripe fruit, and ripe fruit meant calories. Water, vitamins, and a short window before it rotted or another animal found it. Honey was even more dramatic. It was dense energy, rare, dangerous to collect, and worth the pain of angry bees, because one successful find could feed bodies that were always negotiating with hunger. In that world, ignoring sweetness would have been a terrible strategy. The ones who wanted it badly enough to climb, dig, search, and endure stings were often the ones who got the extra energy. The modern problem is not that your brain likes sugar. The modern problem is that your brain still treats sugar like a rare forest jackpot, while the modern world serves it in cups, wrappers, sauces, cereals, drinks, and snacks, designed to make the ancient alarm ring as loudly as possible. What used to be a seasonal reward became a daily background noise. What used to require effort now waits at eye level near the checkout line. So the real question is not why sugar feels good. Of course it feels good, it was supposed to. The real question is what happens when a brain built for scarcity meets a world of endless sweetness. To understand sugar, you have to remove the supermarket, remove the bakery window, the vending machine, the soft drink fridge, the cereal aisle, the secret snack drawer, and every bright package designed by people who know exactly where your eyes go when you are tired. For most of human history, sweetness was not sitting politely on a shelf waiting for you. It had to be found at the right moment, in the right season, before birds, insects, monkeys, or another hungry human got there first. In the ancient world, sugar mostly came wrapped in living things. Fruit was not the oversized, ultra-sweet fruit you see today, bred for generations to be bigger and softer. Wild fruit could be smaller, tougher, more fibrous, more sour, and available only when the plant decided the timing was right. Honey was even harder. It was not a cute jar with a bear on it. It was high in a tree, inside a hive, protected by thousands of tiny flying needles with personal issues. Getting it meant climbing, smoke, stings, and the real possibility that dessert could become a medical emergency. That scarcity shaped the meaning of sweetness. Sweet food told your ancestors that energy was available now. In a world where walking, carrying, digging, hunting, gathering, pregnancy, breastfeeding, illness, cold nights, and bad seasons all burn energy, extra calories were not the enemy, they were insurance. A sweet find could help a child grow, help an adult recover, or help a body store fuel for the next stretch of uncertainty. So the ancient context is simple but brutal. Your ancestors did not live in a world with too much sugar. They lived in a world where sugar was difficult enough to be exciting. Your craving was built for that world, where sweetness was rare, useful, and usually attached to food your body had to work to get. The evidence begins with what evolutionary biologist Daniel Lieberman calls a mismatch. a body shaped for one environment living inside another. In plain English, your craving system was built for a world where sugar was hard to get, then dropped into a world where sweetness can be bought in a bottle at midnight. The machinery is old, the environment is new. That gap is where the problem begins. Modern hunter-gatherer research makes the contrast clearer. The Hadza of Tanzania, one of the best-studied foraging groups in the world, eat wild foods like tubers, berries, baobab, meat, and honey. Honey is especially important because it is one of the richest natural sugar sources a human can find. But even there, sugar comes with effort. Someone has to locate the hive, climb, use smoke, tolerate stings, and bring it back. Sweetness is connected to movement, risk, season, and sharing. It is not sitting in a plastic wrapper beside a cash register. Then there is the brain chemistry. Neuroscientists have shown that sweet foods activate reward pathways, including dopamine systems involved in motivation and learning. Dopamine is not simply a pleasure chemical. It is closer to a pay attention, do that again signal. In an ancient environment, that signal helped you remember where the ripe fruit was, which tree had honey, and which season made sweetness worth searching for. Researchers like Richard Johnson have also argued that fructose, one of the sugars found in fruit and honey, may activate a kind of survival switch that encourages hunger, foraging, and fat storage. That idea is still debated in its details, but the broad pattern fits the story. Your body treats sweetness as useful energy. The evidence does not say sugar is evil. It says sugar was once rare enough that wanting it made sense. The danger came later, when humans learned how to make rare sweetness permanent. The mechanism starts with one basic rule. Sweetness tells the brain that energy is available. Your tongue detects sweet molecules, your gut prepares for incoming calories, and your brain activates the reward system, because this is information worth remembering. In plain English, reward does not only mean pleasure. It means mark this, learn this, repeat this. If one tree had ripe fruit today, your ancestors needed to remember it. If one hollow tree had honey, that location mattered. Dopamine helps with that learning. It pulls attention toward things that could improve survival, especially food rich in energy. Sugar gives quick fuel, and quick fuel mattered in a body that had to walk, climb, dig, run, carry children, heal wounds, and survive lean days. In the ancient world, a strong craving for sweetness helped a hungry person act before the opportunity disappeared. The craving was not a glitch, it was motivation. The problem is that modern sugar separates the signal from the situation. Ancient sweetness usually came with fiber, water, chewing, distance, season, and effort. Modern sweetness can be concentrated, liquid, soft, cheap, and available when your body has not earned it and does not need it. Your brain receives the same ancient signal, but the context is broken. It thinks rare energy has appeared. The supermarket knows rare energy is now shelf-stable. That is why sugar can feel less like a choice and more like a pull. Your conscious mind may be thinking about health. Your older systems are thinking in a much simpler language. Energy found, remember this, get more. That language kept bodies alive for a very long time. It just never expected cookies to wait quietly in a cabinet at 11:43 p.m. So picture one of your ancestors near the end of a dry season. The group has been walking for hours, and everyone is tired in the quiet way that happens when hunger has lasted long enough to stop being dramatic. Then someone hears it. Bees. Not the soft background buzz of insects in the grass, but the concentrated sound of a hive hidden high inside a tree. Suddenly the mood changes. This is not just food, this is sweetness, and sweetness means energy. Getting it is not simple. Someone has to climb. Someone has to use smoke. Someone has to accept that the bees are going to respond with the kind of organized rage that deserves respect. Hands reach into a hollow trunk. Stings hit skin. People laugh, swear, flinch, and keep going because inside that hive is one of the most powerful foods in the landscape. Dense, golden calories that the body can use quickly. Children crowd closer. Adults watch carefully. Everyone knows this is worth the pain. When the honey finally comes down, it is not eaten casually while staring at a screen. It is shared. It sticks to fingers. It gets mixed with bits of wax and smoke and bark. It tastes like the opposite of scarcity. For a few minutes, the body gets a message it does not receive every day. Energy is here. Take it now. Remember this place. Remember this season. Remember the sound of those bees. That is the scene your craving comes from. Not a vending machine, not a frosted cereal commercial, a real discovery in a hard landscape, paid for with effort, risk, memory, and stings. Your brain learned to treat sweetness like treasure because for your ancestors that is exactly what it was. Here is the twist. Sugar is not powerful because your brain is broken. Sugar is powerful because your brain is working. The same system that pulls you toward a cookie once pulled your ancestors toward ripe fruit, honey, and rare energy in a hard landscape. The craving itself is ancient, the trap is modern. For most of human history, sweetness came with limits. You had to walk to it, climb for it, wait for it, share it, and stop when the tree was empty or the hive was gone. Modern food removed those limits. It took the old reward signal and made it soft, cheap, concentrated, advertised, and available every hour of the day. No bees, no season, no effort, just open, bite, repeat. So the problem is not that humans like sugar. Humans were supposed to like sugar. The problem is that the rare survival prize became a permanent background noise, and your ancient brain still treats it like treasure. So the next time you find yourself reaching for something sweet after a long day, do not treat it like proof that you are weak. Your body is not reading a cookie the way a nutrition label reads it. Your body is reading it through a much older story, one written in fruit trees, honeycombs, hunger, walking, heat, and the constant uncertainty of whether tomorrow would bring enough food. That does not mean every craving should be obeyed. Your ancestors did not live inside a world engineered to make sweetness unavoidable. They did not have checkout aisles, delivery apps, soft drinks, breakfast cereal, or snacks designed by teams of people paid to make the ancient reward system light up as brightly as possible. You do. That is the mismatch. Your brain is old, the food environment is new, and the new world knows exactly how to speak the old language. So maybe the real lesson is not to hate the craving, but to understand it. That pull towards sugar is a fossil inside your appetite. It is a memory of a world where sweetness meant survival, where honey was worth the climb, where fruit was worth remembering, where extra energy could keep a body alive through the next hard stretch. Today, the treasure is everywhere. That is the problem. But the wanting itself is ancient. And every time sweetness calls your name from a cabinet, a vending machine, or the glowing aisle of a supermarket, some very old part of you still thinks it has found honey in a tree.